So we've been getting an awful lot of questions recently about some of the changes to the funding in the childcare sector. So I thought it'd be quite useful to give a bit of an update. Okay, if we start with babies. The funding for babies and toddlers is available for children aged 9 months to 3 years, and this kicks in September 2024. Eligible working parents can apply for 15 hours of childcare funding. Your child will become eligible the term after they turn 9 months old. So to be eligible for September, your child would need to be 9 months by the 31st of August. Now the funded hours will start in line with each of the term dates, which are at the beginning of September, the beginning of January, and the beginning of April. Now for 2-year-olds. 15 hours of funding for 2-year-olds is now available for working families from April 2024. You can apply from when your child is 1 year and 36 weeks. Or if you're applying later, you can apply for your funding code up to 3 months before you plan to register your child at a nursery. In full transparency of terms, the funding is paid after the child's 2nd and 3rd birthday, which depends on their age. For 3 and 4-year-olds, this has been in operation for some time now, but 30 hours of funded childcare is available for 3 to 4-year-olds for working parents. This was going to continue until children start school. It is worth noting that with each of these applications, you do need to reconfirm your eligibility details on your gov.uk account every 3 months to continue receiving funding. Now, in terms of how parents access that funding, more often than not, it is stretched. Now, regardless of the childcare funding that you are applying for, we generally offer parents the option to stretch their funding. This means that you can spread the 38 weeks that you get allocated over more weeks of the year and use fewer hours each week. So an example of this would be to use your 15 hours of funding spread over 51 weeks instead of 38 weeks, which results in you receiving just over 11 hours per week of funded childcare. Now, stretch funding is great for managing your finances because it means you receive the benefit of your funded childcare equally every month. Now, we get a lot of questions around booking patterns as well, and we do have a minimum booking pattern of 4 sessions, which could be taken as 4 half days or 2 full days. It's worth noting that the stretch funding of 11 hours per week doesn't fully cover these 4 full sessions, and there's a good reason why we have this minimum booking. The reason we have that minimum booking of 4 sessions is we find that children do not settle easily when they're only at the nursery 1 day a week. Another area we get a lot of questions on are around essential extras. And while the government funding significantly supports parents, there may be additional fees for essential extras. So that term free childcare can be slightly misleading. Now, essential extras are there to include things like days out, parent partnerships, events, meals, nappies, wipes, sun cream, trips, extracurricular activities, and many other things. We're committed to transparency, so our nursery managers will go through this in detail with you at your nursery visit, along with the availability and all of the stretched funding options. Now, the government always quote free childcare, so a lot of questions we get are around why my place is not free. And this is because the government doesn't cover essential extras. So there is a small charge per hour to reflect the cost of nappies, meals, days out, and many other things that are included as part of your booking pattern in your day with us. So in terms of when you should be applying, it's a good idea to apply a couple of months before your child is due to use the hours. You will usually receive your code within 2 weeks of applying. Now, we get a lot of people who are returning to work after they've been on maternity leave, which is slightly different. You would need to return to work by September the 30th to be eligible for your child to be eligible to start in September. If you return on the 1st of October, you'll need to apply for funding from January. Okay, so we do get asked, why can I not just do 38 weeks? And as a general rule, it's not something we do have. However, if you are interested in exploring just term time only, or 38 weeks of the year, you should get in touch with the manager of the setting that's nearest you, and they'll be able to give you details of whether this is offered or not. We understand that the cost of childcare can be a significant concern for many families, and we do want them to get the most out of the government funding available. It should be noted that childcare has become more affordable than ever, and the availability of funding that's been announced recently is significant, and families can save thousands of pounds a year. There is a downloadable guide available in the links below to help you digest further, but please do speak to our nursery team or customer care who will help you the options available at our nursery. Thank you very much for listening.